Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell in the upper right hand corner. Follow me on all forms of social media. Check me out at thatdrummerguy.com and enjoy the following presentation.
Hi, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
Thanks to you. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding last week. I don't know. My manager knew that I was going to be on a travel, so I guess they didn't give you the right information or whatever. So sorry for last week. Okay.
Oh, that is quite all right. I'm just very thankful for you to be able to find the time today to be able to do this interview and talk about everything that we need to know about the brand new album from Lords of Black, which just came out today.
Yeah, beautiful. Really excited about this. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Minnesota in the United States.
Great. That's cool.
Oh, absolutely. And yes, getting back into it, of course, today comes with the new release of the brand new album from Lords of Black, Icons of the New Days, which is available through Frontiers Music. How does it feel to finally have this brand new album out?
Well, it's a feeling that never gets old when you have a new album out worldwide and you are really excited to know how you guys feel about it, how you receive the songs and start chatting about the favorites, the first impressions, or especially with a band like Lords of Black and the kind of albums we put out, that definitely you need a few listenings, because we make pretty dense, thoughtful music, even not being progressive band as such. But I think we put out albums like Queensryche or Sabotage or people like that back in the 80s and 90s that were just more than the average stuff. So I know it requires a lot of time and attention from the listener, and it's difficult nowadays that people seems only to have 30 seconds of attention on something. That is the way we are, and I just hope we find intelligent fans, as we think our music is very special.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. I mean, that's the way I felt about the previous two Lords of Black albums, and that's what I love so much about the new album. I mean, it's a great progression as the band as a whole. I mean, you're still able to show off everything that the band is capable of, but still being able to move forward with the sound, and it's so great to see that.
Yeah, I think we have tried different arrangements, little few things maybe from other styles that we really like as well, and we have improved a lot, in my opinion, in the production, in the sound in general, and especially with the vocals and the guitars, I think. So I really believe it's a very modern and current album. Like we are saying this kind of mantra with the Frontiers guys about Icons of the New Days might be one of the most important and relevant albums of this year or of the current times, trying to portray musically and lyrically what's going on in the actual and future times.
Is that something that you were setting out to do with this album, or did that come amongst the songwriting when you were writing for the new album?
I'm not sure if I understood correctly. The album, we have been working like almost 2 years, like even during the touring in between with the Lords of Black album 2 and everything. But the first stages of songwriting for this album, I remember it was about Christmas 2016. So it definitely has taken like 1 year and a half or almost 2 years of time to finish this album. Sometimes making an album is easy, smooth, a breeze, but sometimes making an album might be like pulling teeth, and this one has been really difficult for me as a producer, because we definitely put a lot of time and effort in making this album, and only when we felt it was right, that was when we deliver the final masters to Frontier Records.
And with that, I mean, obviously, with being able to write the songs, be a part of the band, and also with producing, I mean, obviously, I can imagine that being a challenge. But how does it feel looking back at it now, being able to accomplish so much for this album?
Thanks so much. That means a lot to me, having someone like you and appreciating that is indeed a lot of work and a lot of passion you have to put on something like this. And at the end, it's going to be out there for free, for downloading or whatever. So it feels strange, but because we are not biased by the I mean, we are doing music just because we are really artists and musicians, and we try to please ourselves musically and artistically. So if later on we get a huge success or whatever, that's absolutely phenomenal and really welcome. And if the critics are good, are really welcome as well. But at the end, we are very selfish in this way. We just make the music for ourselves in the first place. So, but it feels great. It's a kind of release. All right. So it's like it's a good feeling. It's a good release to know the album is finally out after so much time and passion and effort on it, especially with this one being a very long album, over 72 minutes long, plus some bonus tracks and stuff. So, yeah.
And speaking of that, with the deluxe edition, just like you mentioned, that there is some bonus tracks. How did you decide what covers and what other songs were going to be featured on that?
Well, in this particular bonus disc in the deluxe edition of the Icons of the New Days, we have a couple of leftovers from the Lords of Black 2 recording sessions, and also we have some of the covers we have been recording in these years, kind of compiled all together. Innuendo from Queen and Only by Anthrax were songs that we had already recorded for the previous album. But Edge of the Blade by Journey, for example, is completely new, brand new, recorded for this album. And we try to show we like many styles, and we have very wide likes and tastes in music. We can go, as you can see, from Anthrax to Journey, because we are lovers and fans of just good music. And probably, for example, our drummer is more oriented to thrash metal and extreme metal, but Ronnie and me, for example, we are more into classic rock and classic heavy metal, from Rainbow to Queen or Foreigner or Journey. So we have a wide tastes on music, and we like to pick up songs that are not the most obvious, like we pick the most obscure, and Innuendo was not an obvious Queen song to cover, especially because it's also very, very difficult to do. And Edge of the Blade by Journey, or it's the same. It's like, I just hope musicians or fans appreciate that we go for those special songs instead going for the typical ones. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and that's something that I immediately catched up on, and I truly appreciate that, the fact that you didn't just go for like the biggest songs from these bands that you could cover, but you chose songs that actually mean something more to you.
That's right. That's the point. Yeah.
So with that, I mean, and again, with the album coming out today, what has been the reception that you've heard for the album so far?
It's been great, but it's been great with all the albums. We know that we know what we are capable of, and we know for sure we'll never put out any weak album. That's for sure. The problem is when you have more than one album. Just when you have the second and the third album out there, the fans get it in a very personal way because people start to compare themes. So it wouldn't surprise me if now there will be people saying this is the best Lords of Black album ever, or there will be for sure people that discover us from the beginning and will say, no, Lords of Black 1 was the most special, the most original, just because it connects with you somehow in the first moment you connect with some band. It happened to me as a fan as well. It's like no matter how you could try to sell me any Dream Theater record, for me it will be Images and Words, because they were my favorite band right there with that album at that particular year. So even if they release anything stronger than that, for me it's all about Images and Words. So that's personal, you know.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I'm the exact same way when it comes to Dream Theater. Although it's funny because that was the second album I discovered from Dream Theater, but that was the album that always means the most to me. And while there could be some albums that are possibly with songs written better or better production or whatever the case is, my heart is with Images and Words.
Absolutely, yeah. So for me too. Even I would say even the first one, because when the first one came out in '89, and I was like 14 years old or whatever, it was very special for me. Knowing that I was one of the few guys out there who knew about this band from Long Island. So it felt like something special. And after that, they got worldwide recognition, and it wasn't just not anymore the same feeling, because you are a very hardcore fan, you know, and you feel like it's your band. So, yeah.
Oh, very much so. So with that, I mean, obviously, with it being a great feeling of all these years of accomplishments, being able to get this brand new album out, what's going to be next for the band?
Well, we hope we can be touring this year, or with this album cycle, even better and at a larger scale than with the previous album that was really successful. It was a really well received album by fans, by critics, by musicians, and we did a lot of touring supporting that album quite successfully, even playing in Japan for several times, touring Europe for several times. Even we got to play for the first time in United States at the prestigious Prog Power festival in Atlanta. So we just hope we can go a little bit higher with this one and get to more people with this one. We'll try to do the things better at a larger scale. We'll try to get better budgets to make the things more viable.
Yeah, and I really hope that does happen as well too. I mean, I love seeing the ever-growing success of the band, and with this being the third album and everything that you've accomplished so far in the live setting, I just imagine things will just keep getting bigger and better.
Yes, definitely. I hope so. We hope so, yeah.
So with that, I mean, obviously with a new album, there's going to be some new songs added from the new album into the set list. How does it feel to be able to switch things up with new material?
Yeah, that's so interesting because right now, for example, I wouldn't be playing my own music because, as soon as I recorded my new music and I deliver it to the masters, to the record label, that's all for me. It's like for quite time, I got so tired of my music and myself that I don't want to hear anything anymore about the album. But now we are actually starting rehearsals for the upcoming live shows. So we are putting some of the Icons of the New Days songs into the rehearsals and trying to find out which ones will relate better for the live environment. So I think we'll start obviously with Icons of the New Days and War Gone Mad, because those were the first two singles and videos, and also because we only have in these first live shows opening for Ozzy Osbourne and Judas Priest in some summer festivals, we only have like 45 or maybe 50 minutes allowed. So we can put like 2 or 3 songs of the new album maximum and keep playing songs from Lords of Black 1 and 2.
And what is that like for you personally, being able to be in a band like Lords of Black and being able to open for such prestigious artists like that?
Well, yeah, it's a great feeling. It's like I've been trying this all my life, and I've been professional for quite a long time, but doing the things in this professional way at this level, it's only possible with a band like this, when you have good musicianship and good songwriting, and you put out relevant and current albums on our music label like Frontiers that have worldwide distribution. You can only actually make it with bandmates like I have. I have one of the best singers in the scene right now, and it wouldn't be possible if we have weaker songs or a weaker singer or a weaker guitarist or whatever. So I think Lords of Black is one of the strongest new bands out there, and we also have a really good reputation on live. So yeah, we are really hard working guys, and so yeah, I mean it's a good feeling to be, or trying to be out there, fighting our way to break through, trying to be bigger, of course.
Yeah, and I couldn't have said it better. I mean, just with everyone that is a part of Lords of Black, I mean, all of you guys are just so phenomenal and have worked so hard at what you do to be some of the best musicians at your particular instruments, be it vocal or instrumentation-wise. And, you know, it's great to see that after all this time with a third album, all these new opportunities that are coming up in 2018 and down the road, that things are just continuing to get bigger and better from here on out. I mean, whether it was playing for the first time last year at Prog Power here in the United States, or being able to tour new places that you've never been able to play with this band before. I mean, it's just so fantastic to see that from the fan perspective.
Oh yeah, thanks so much. I would love to really to play more dates properly in the United States, particularly. I'm sure we'll get back to play in Japan sooner or later. I would love to try to play for the first time in Australia or New Zealand, but especially United States. Yeah, I'm really looking forward playing United States on a long and proper tour.
Oh, I would love that as well. I mean, whether it's opening up for another prestigious band, or if you do get that opportunity to do like a full run of headlining shows here in the United States, I mean, that would just be so fantastic to see that you guys have taken off that far here in America to be able to play shows here.
Yeah, that would be the best. Absolutely, yeah.
So getting back into the album a little bit, I gotta say, without question, easily one of my favorite album covers of this year is for Icons of the New Days. How did that come together with choosing that as the album cover?
Yeah, as you can see, still some connection with the previous albums, because you still have those dragons, if you will, those dragons or gargoyles, you name it. So the concept of Lords of Black is going to be is going to be a seg, like a continuation from album to album. Lords of Black is like a secret society of superheroes, if you will, fighting the evil or something like that. So in this album, and especially lyrically, a lot of the songs lyrically I'm speaking about the actual war and the future war, where we are changing on, even in real time, every day, our values and religious, and everything is changing with this technology and with the artificial intelligence, and so we are now praising new gods, new icons every day, not anymore the traditional values and gods of our Western civilization and everything like that. So everything is about the actual war we are living, or the future war we are heading to. So the cover tried to reflect something like that, like the face, the evil face up in the cover might be, I don't know, might be the Big Brother, and there are some people worshipping that face, and below in the cover you can find a couple of soldiers with the dragons connected. Those soldiers are two Lords of Black, if you know what I mean, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, so it's like they are going to fight, the machine, the iconoclast kind of concept. So it's difficult for me to explain that in English, but if you are familiar with movies like Blade Runner or Ghost in the Shell or Ex Machina, those movies or that particular matter of robotics and the humanization process, that kind of stuff has been around my mind for the last couple of years a lot, and I'm writing a lot of lyrics around that issues.
Yeah, and again, that's what I've loved so much about the Lords of Black so far. I mean, between all three albums, just being able to see that continuation of the story that's going on. I mean, whether it's from the album covers, being able to get the feel of what the album is from that, to really sitting down and listening to the lyrics and seeing how it all fits together with the music. I mean, it's great to see the continuation of the story being able to progress the way that it has.
Right, thanks. Yeah, I think we'll keep somehow either the Lords of Black, like you saw in the Lords of Black 2 album, for example, those four guys, those four figures, supposed to be us, Lords of Black, the members of the band, with the dragons, with the gargoyles, and I try to keep those elements like Iron Maiden did with Eddie, for example, or Megadeth has been doing with I don't know the name of the Megadeth iconic figure, but you know what I mean. So either the Lords of Black or the gargoyles through the covers of the Lords of Black album to continue somehow the story.
Fantastic. I think right there is a fantastic note to end on. Thank you so very much for taking the time to be able to talk to me about everything that's going on with Lords of Black, and of course talking about the brand new album which just came out today. Easily one of my favorite albums of the year, and I can't wait to see how everyone else is going to be able to perceive the album as well. And I'm very excited to see all of the great upcoming live shows, festival dates, touring that will come from this album, and I'm very gracious for you to be able to take the time to be able to talk to me about everything.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thanks so much.
Before we wrap things up, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I hadn't brought up yet?
Well, not really. I'm just excited and waiting for the reaction of everybody, and really looking forward playing in the United States.